Ever pondered the mysteries of time travel, a concept that has captivated the imagination of science fiction enthusiasts for decades? The idea of traveling back in time, altering events, and consequently reshaping the future is both thrilling and perplexing. However, what if time travel doesn't actually work in the way we've always imagined? Instead of changing the past, could it be that time travel merely creates an entirely new timeline, leaving the original one untouched? This intriguing idea offers a fresh perspective on the age-old problem of time travel paradoxes. Consider the classic grandfather paradox, where a time traveler goes back in time and prevents their grandparents from meeting, thereby preventing their own birth. This paradox presents a logical conundrum. If the traveler was never born, how could they have traveled back in time in the first place to alter history? Such paradoxes emerge from the assumption that time is a single, unbroken sequence of events. If you change something in the past, it supposedly alters everything that follows, leading to contradictions. But perhaps time isn't as linear as we think. A potential solution to these paradoxes lies in the concept of multiple timelines. Instead of a single, continuous timeline, imagine time as a series of parallel timelines. When you travel back in time, you don't alter your original timeline. Instead, you create or enter a new, parallel timeline. In this new timeline, you can make changes without affecting your original past. This model of time travel allows for a more coherent understanding of how it might work, free from the paradoxes that typically plague such theories. Here's how this concept plays out. Suppose you decide to travel back to the year 1950. As soon as you leave your original timeline, you vanish from that point onward in timeline 1. Timeline 1 continues without you, and in this timeline, you never arrive in 1950. However, in timeline 2, a new timeline that you create upon arrival, you suddenly appear in 1950. From this moment on, your actions influence the events of timeline 2. This new timeline is distinct from the original because, in this version of reality, you are present in 1950, whereas in timeline 1, you are not. This approach effectively sidesteps the issue of paradoxes. By keeping the original timeline intact, you can interact with the past in timeline 2 without worrying about erasing yourself or creating logical inconsistencies. In timeline 2, your actions generate new events, but these events don't loop back to affect timeline 1, where you never made the journey. For instance, if you were to meet your younger self in timeline 2, it wouldn't violate the rules of causality. The younger version of you in timeline 2 is a separate individual, existing in this new timeline, while the version of you from timeline 1 no longer impacts this timeline's past. The implications of multiple timelines are profound and open up a world of possibilities. Every action taken in the past could theoretically create a new timeline, resulting in a branching multiverse of different realities. Each timeline is self-contained, with its own sequence of events, and these timelines do not interfere with one another. This model suggests that time travel isn't about altering history but rather exploring different versions of it. By traveling back in time, you're not rewriting the past but creating a new reality in which to explore what-if scenarios without disrupting the continuity of your original timeline. In conclusion, viewing time travel through the lens of multiple timelines provides a fascinating solution to the paradoxes that have long puzzled scientists and philosophers. By separating the timeline you leave from the timeline you enter, you avoid the contradictions that arise from attempting to change the past. Each timeline remains consistent and self-contained, offering a coherent and plausible framework for understanding time travel. While this remains a speculative concept within the realm of science fiction, it provides a thought-provoking glimpse into the possibilities of a multiverse shaped by the choices and movements of time travelers. If you found this exploration of time travel intriguing, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more mind-bending content. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. What timeline would you create if you could travel through time?